Alright, so I thought it'd be fun to make a video of me doing renders on a face and body skin tone type stuff, maybe do the character, just to see my process and very likely how inefficient it is. So I already got my base layer in. Now what I do is I start laying in my first shadow. I like to color up the neck. And sometimes I don't really care if it's messy because I'm going to go back and clean it up. So actually the shadows are going the other way. My bad. I'm having the light source come from this direction. So I'm just kind of getting in where my big blocks of shadow would be. Don't really care. I'll zoom out sometimes just so that way I'm not like being precious about it. A little bit more shadow into there. And this one's going to be in shadow. Underneath. I usually do the neck just as a very dark layer. I kind of like when it instantly just makes the face push forward because it looks more recessed even if it's not completely accurate. I'm going to do a little bit more stuff to that in a minute anyway. So I'm going to make sure to get the under shadow cast from the nose, coming over, cheekbone gets a highlight. Try to give it a little bit more shape to the face here and shade this eye. I'm going to give a little harder shadow underneath. Try to cut out the bicep a little bit more there. Deepen this shadow here. More of a cast shadow coming off of the hair. And we'll smooth that out. So this is pretty ugly. And then what I do is I grab the base color of the face, go to my gradient. I usually use somewhere between 27 and like a 33% gradient. And I start dragging it over to blend into my shadows. And then I kind of just go by eye, like I look what looks appealing to me. A little shadow there. I drop a big one or two over the neck. So now it's not even quite as pronounced, but it still pushes forward compared to the face. Then I grab my dark color again, and I'm gonna just go in, and I'm gonna cut that heavy shadow in, and then the jaw would be, or the head would be casting a shadow in off of that. I get a little bit more into that guy. Deepen the shadows here. Re-deepening that shadow coming off of the nose. Coming more into the eyes. Get a little bit back underneath that one. Come in there. And I'm not trying to be like super fancy. And then I might come back in and grab my base color, and then I will, oops, that was a little too deep. I'm going to cut out the stuff that wouldn't be actually getting hit by the shadow, trying to be a little bit more precise. Top of the eyelids don't get, or they catch the light. So I'm just looking for something like sort of natural there. Might not be perfect. The lip's going to catch the light. So that's okay. I want to get the next color up here so that way it looks like the very edge of the dimple there, that's catching the light. And then I'm going to go back to my main swatch, get my chin back, that one. But maybe have the light catching a couple, that's a little too much. Top is good. And I'm going to grab some highlights on the side here. And that looks pretty good. So those are my shadows. And then I have my highlight colors. These were the two highlight colors I was using for him. So the yellowish. And then I usually do that. I drop the opacity down to like, I don't know, 30 something. Because then what I can do is I can just kind of like layer it on. Depending on where the light is, and like sort of like build up the light. So it's hitting more of the side of the nose. And should hit part of the lip. I don't really like that there. I'm okay with this. That looks not too bad. Maybe a little, oops, and I do that all the time. Maybe a little bounce light down there. And then the shadow, or the light's hitting this side. That's going to help push his face a little bit forward off of the light there too. That's going to help hopefully direct the focus down across the body. Go back to my gradient, drop in anything that I want to clean up. And then I have this on a layer over here. To finish it up, I do like a little blush, do it as a gradient. I've been doing these at 13%. Give it a little color to the face. And since Hector's pretty jacked, I give him some color to his arms too. And that's that.